time before.
Are you all ready to get started again? I hope.
Okay, so hopefully welcome back everyone.
Yeah.
And we will continue, or Blaine will continue with explaining voorzetsels.
Yes, voorzetsels, prepositions. So, as you probably all know, prepositions are words that you use to describe, to tell location of something with respect to another thing. So something is on the table, I'm standing next to a building, stuff like that. And this is the diagram you see in your book before I show the answers. Here you see all the names in English, and I will go with you.
Back.
What?
I think you switch back to the.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah. So starting on the very left corner above. On in English, in Dutch is op. And then apart from that we have above, which means boven. In front of is voor. And then in between, tussen. Then this might be confusing, but there's the lower right corner, that's rechter onderhoek. But I will come back to that after I finish all of them. Besides is naast. Under is onder. Behind is achter. And in or inside of is simply in. And then upper left corner is linker bovenhoek. So with regard to rechter onderhoek and linker bovenhoek, they seem difficult, but basically what you do is you start either with rechter or linker, so right or left, followed by either onder or boven, under or above, and then hoek, which means corner. So if you want to refer to a hoek, corner, you can say rechter onderhoek, rechter bovenhoek, or linker onderhoek, linker bovenhoek. Is that clear? So these are basically all the options, and if you have to use one of the corners in a sentence, you can say in de rechter onderhoek or in de rechter bovenhoek. Voor is like from. Well, voor in this case, well, voor has different meanings, different ways of using a sentence. But when you talk about prepositions, then if something is in front of something, you say voor. But it doesn't necessarily, in this case, mean from.
From for can also mean for. In the case of a letter, okay, this letter is from Thomas to Leun, and I would say the brief is van Thomas, and it's voor Leun. It's for. From is van.
Yeah.
For is but van is also of.
Yeah.
So all words don't.
These are the basics when it comes to prepositions. Graag gedaan. Yeah, did you all manage to write it down? Because then we can continue, because there are also verbs that you should know when it comes to prepositions. We have special verbs that indicate position, and some of them are more common than others, but there are some guidelines you can use. So when you refer to an object or a subject that is mostly vertical, we usually say staan, which is to stand. So for instance, de stoel staat achter het bureau, or er staat een stoel achter het bureau. Then you refer to a chair, which is standing behind the desk, because it's standing on its own, and in that way it is vertical, basically. So that's the first verb. And then you also have liggen, to lie. For instance, het mes ligt in de la, or er ligt een mes in de la, then you refer to something that is basically horizontal, so a knife that is in the drawer, and then you use the verb liggen. Yeah. Then there is zitten, to sit, which is less common, but for instance, we say er zit een vlek op de muur, there is a stain on the wall, and not, for instance, er staat een vlek op de muur. So in that regard, we really use zitten. But yeah, it's not that common, only in certain circumstances. And then we use to be, zijn. When, for instance, we say the lamp is boven de vloer, the lamp is above the floor, which is in this case quite similar to English in that regard. And then when you refer to something that is hanging, such as a painting, you use the word to hang, obviously, and you say het schilderij hangt boven de bank, or er hangt een schilderij boven de bank, or a lamp, that's also a possibility. So these are the verbs that indicate place, and I think the first two are most common. Yeah, the others are just, yeah, we use them, but it really depends on the context, I think.
Yeah. So in English, you would usually use to be for most cases. In Dutch, for some reason, we don't really. We like to pretend that that objects are sort of, I don't know, we try to anthropomorphize them. It's like pretend that there are people for some reason. So a chair is not just being behind a desk. It's standing behind a desk. And knife is not just lying. It isn't just in the drawer, but is lying there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really sure how this came to be, but I guess because you would refer to people in this way, it's just get carried over to objects as well.
Yeah, and I think also because of the way it is placed, because a knife, well, in some sort of way, it's really laying down. It's not like standing. So it makes sense to Dutch people maybe to really specify the way it is placed.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Are there questions about this? Because, yeah, obviously there are sometimes situations with exceptions or weird constructions.
Yeah. So in theory, if you can always use to be or zijn, but that does sound a bit awkward. So it's not per se wrong. It's not wrong to say, oh yeah, de stoel is achter het bureau. But it does sound a bit awkward. If you ask, where is the knife? You would ask, waar is het mes? Or you more commonly would say, waar ligt het mes? Where is the knife lying? And would you say that the bottle sits on the table? No, you would say the bottle is standing on the table. Because it's mostly vertical.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like my mouse, it's not really standing on the table. I would say probably that it is lying on the table.
And then are you going to answer that?
You would say
so one asks you, waar ligt het mes? Then you say, het ligt in de la. Is that what you mean?
The question would be, waar ligt het mes? And the answer would be, het mes ligt in de la. Or alternatively, just het ligt in de la. You should then per se have to refer back to. Yeah, no problem. Okay.
So, if there are no other questions, you should probably be able to do the third exercise now. on page 22 of your booklets. So what you see is the different parts of the sentence, and you have to complete the whole sentence by picking the right verb and referring to it. So for instance, the first sentence, you have de monitor op and het bureau, and you have to make a full sentence out of it. And in this case, you can say de monitor staat op het bureau, or staat een monitor op het bureau. So you can do 1 to 5 on your own, I think.
Yeah. Oh, also I want to make a quick comment about the definite/indefinite sentences. So you can see here it says de stoel staat achter het bureau, or staat een stoel achter het bureau. And the difference here is, well, how the sentence looks, but also whether the noun has a definite or an indefinite article. So in the first case, this is de stoel, the chair, and then you would just say the chair is standing behind the desk. But if it's an indefinite article, just a chair, whatever, you don't care what chair it is, then you would use, in English, you would also probably say there is a chair behind the desk, or is a chair standing behind the desk. You could also say a chair is standing behind the desk, but that sounds a bit awkward. And in Dutch, it also sounds a bit awkward. So you wouldn't say een stoel staat achter het bureau. You would say er staat een stoel achter het bureau. And this er here, you can just assume for now, it just means the there. And so the exercise is, please write a definite version and an indefinite version, just like the example. Because usually when you're describing a situation, you would use the indefinite version. Asked to describe a picture, which we would have done later, but with now, you would not say you see a picture of a room, you would not, and you ask to describe it, to your friend who doesn't see very well. You would not say, oh yeah, de stoel staat achter het bureau. Or the chair is standing behind the desk. You would say, oh yeah, there's a chair standing behind the desk. Because that's more general. So please do exercise 3, and maybe we'll give you 5 minutes for that.
And let us know when you're done.
And if you have questions, again, let us know. And the difficulty in the exercise is finding the correct auxiliary verb, of course.
How is it going? More time, yeah?
Okay, we can give you a bit more time.
Okay.
Anyone else done?
Mm-hmm.
All right, even though not everyone is done, I think it is better to move on to discussing the answers, because otherwise we don't have enough time for the rest of the class.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I will do the discussion. Oh, okay, that's not correct. Okay, let's just do it verbally, and then we can look at it in a bit. So the first is the lepel is the subject, onder is the preposition, and de tafel is the object. So what would be the correct definite and indefinite sentence here? And which auxiliary verb would you use? So
Mm-hmm.
yes, indeed. De lepel ligt onder de tafel. Yeah, very good.
Nice.
Or er ligt een lepel onder de tafel. You should pick because that's kind of gross. The second one, de kast voor de muur. Which auxiliary verb do we need?
I typed the alternative option for the first one.
Hang. No. Staat. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Or is. Is could also be, because it's usually correct. But you would say staat. Kast means closet, and muur means wall. So the kast staat voor de muur. The closet is standing in front of the wall.
Yeah.
Hanging is not correct, because we usually don't hang your closets in front of the wall, unless you have some very interesting closet. But it could be
Small ones.
usually you're standing on the ground. The third, de boeken in de prullenbak. So the books in the trash can.
Staan.
I would not use staan here.
Zijn.
Zijn, yeah.
Could be an option.
Yeah. Ligt, yeah, I could say liggen. I would say that ze liggen in de prullenbak or ze zitten in de prullenbak. So they're either lying in the trash can or they're sitting in the trash can. I would probably say sit.
Oh, I would go for liggen, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it both works, yeah.
Okay, so if they liggen, it evokes more of an image for me that they're at the bottom, and if zitten, it's more like a general, they're placed in there. But they're both correct, I would say. And zijn, of course, is also correct, but it doesn't really say. For de badkamer, something achter en keuken. It should be de keuken. So the bathroom and the kitchen. What kind of verb would we use? Yes, I would also use this here. Because the bathroom is not really, their relation is just spatially. Well, they're not, because they're not really objects. They wouldn't be standing or lying or sitting. So you would just use yes. You could maybe say zit, but that would be kind of common. Badkamer zit achter de keuken. Could say that, but I would use it.
Yeah.
Last one, het tapijt tussen de planten. The third sentence, is there an indirect form? Yeah. Er liggen boeken in de prullenbak. So there are books lying in the trash can. Okay, the fifth one. Het tapijt tussen de planten. Which verb would you use? Right.
Yeah.
Yes, ligt.
Because it's a
Carpets are kind of lying on the floor. Dus echt, het tapijt ligt tussen de planten. Or er ligt een tapijt tussen de planten. Very good. Okay, so that was this exercise. So these are the answers. Take them in. Grab them. Or look at them later. And then this would be the break. That's a bit misjudged. So this is the part that we'll go through very quickly because it's not very useful to do in this setting. So the original exercise, in my opinion, very fun, is that one of you would pair up, one of you would look at the picture and describe it to the other person, or the two pictures, and the other one would draw it, and then compare how well you did, either in describing or drawing, and then you switch. Well, this is kind of hard to do now. You could put you in the channels, but then we'd have to figure a way to give one of you the pictures and all another not, and it's just too much hassle, and we don't have much time. So we'll just go quickly through how you could describe these pictures. Our plan was to ask you, but again, we're almost out of time. So for the left one, you could say er staat een bank in het midden van de kamer. So there is a couch standing in the middle of the room. Er hangen schilderijen boven de bank. There are paintings hanging above the couch. Er liggen kussens op de bank. Clothes lying on the couch. Naast de bank staat een lamp. Naast de bank staat een lamp. I won't go into every detail. So these are on the right.
Er ligt een tapijt op de vloer.
Yeah.
Er is een kapper op de vloer.
To the right, you could say, oh yeah, er liggen 3 borden op elkaar. There are 3 plates lying on each other. Rechts van het bord are 2 knives. Rechts van het bord, why would it mixed English and Dutch a bit there. Rechts van het bord liggen 2 messen. Links van het bord liggen 2 vorken. En boven het bord liggen 2. I won't go through the rest because we don't have time. But so these are other things. If you're really dedicated and you know someone, you could do this exercise still. I forgive you for not doing it. But we practice doing this with exercise 3. So let's go to the sense of the week and the quiz. Sense of the week is something.
Ik ben lekker aan het niksen.
Ik ben lekker aan het niksen.
Have you guys
I
ever
am
niksen?
enjoying niksen.
I didn't know it was that famous in.
Yeah, apparently, like last year, the verb niksen got picked up by some foreign media outlets. Like it's a real big thing or something. So niksen
Really?
basically means doing nothing, hanging around,
Yeah.
chilling. And I think Time article was the first one. Niksen is the Dutch lifestyle concept of doing nothing. So you're about to see it everywhere.
Such a
Most
good
people don't
reputation.
really think about it as like a lifestyle concept, but it's just a thing you can do. Just hang around and don't do anything.
Yeah.
What is the whole translation of the sentence? I am. Lekker is an adverb. I am doing nothing, and I'm enjoying it basically.
Do you guys remember the word lekker? It was het woord van de week of last week, and it was applicable to many occasions. But lekker is, in this case, it doesn't really mean something. It's just to stress how nice it is.
Yeah, I could translate the adverb nicely.
Yeah, or just if you say I'm just chilling. Ik ben lekker. Yeah.
All right. So we now come here, and I will try this. We do a Kahoot. I'm excited. So yeah, I'm delightfully doing nothing. Lekker isn't that fancy of a word. It's delightful, but you could use that. So we are going to do Kahoot. So grab a phone or another window. I will share that window. Screen. Let me guess which one it is. Yes. So you shouldn't see that. You see this. The Kahoot. Game of
this is cool. That I didn't know this would work.
I mean, it's lobby, of course we have lobby.
But can we hear the cool music now or not?
I think so.
Yay! I
Or
hope
at
you're all
least
saying yay right now.
hmm everyone's very excited.
Turn up
Uh,
the volume, guys.
woo. Okay, so go here on your phone or in a separate window, but you do need to keep an eye on this window to see the questions. So using your phone would probably.
Oh, I'm really happy we can still do this.
All right, 5 of you are here. Nice, nice.
Next time I really need to fix my light because I really feel like a ghost or something. It's very hard to find the right
Yeah, definitely with this usually
I'm
very
so not used to
very
this.
nice webcam.
Yeah. Oh, the mine is so old. So sorry if you cannot really see me. But hopefully you're not focused on me.
Okay, so how many people can you see that? How many people we have?
Um, they say 9, but without us it's 7. So, and now we have 8 players. So that's interesting.
Oh yeah, because Jeff and Emily are the same room together.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right, then we are complete.
Yeah.
Let's go. Are you ready? I hope so. So the correct conjugation of werken. Jullie aan het essay.
I miss the music.
Oh, you can't hear the music?
No.
Yeah. Werken. Ooh, Louisa on the top.
Nice.
The quicker you answer, the more points you get. What is this called in Dutch? Yeah.
Well done.
Ooh, Emily, climbing the ranks. Zij naar hun ouders. Which is the correct verb. Let's say gaan naar hun ouders. They are going to their parents. It's usually just the plural. Technically, maybe you could use gaat, but not the most common. Ooh, we did correctly.
Ooh,
Pete and Alex, good job.
5.
Okay, so guys, there's all the questions. How do you travel to the US from here? Remember, lesson 3? Yes, with the boat. Usually with boat, but by plane. But maybe not now.
Not at all right now.
No. What do you call this? Ooh. Technically, if you do this thing incorrectly, it's my bad. Technically from. Yes. Sorry. It is this one. Houten tafel. If you got this one correctly, good job. If you didn't, my bad. I should have taken that one out. What do you say to... Dat is dan €3. Alsjeblieft hoor. Very good. You wouldn't say nee. Maybe if you're very ballsy, but we don't really barter in the Netherlands.
No, bye.
€3, please. Nah. What's the correct translation of ik vind hem heel lekker?
Ooh.
Yes, indeed. I think he's really hot. hem means him, and using lekker in this context means hot, not delicious. Ooh. Hello, Louisa. Translate the sentence. He will drink a beer.
With a picture of wine.
Yeah, I couldn't find a picture of beer. Yes, I zal een biertje drinken. I checked these three of you. So will does not mean will in Dutch. Will means shall, or and that would be zal in Dutch. And wil in Dutch is want. So we mean hij wil een biertje drinken means he wants to drink a beer. Oh, I clicked too fast. Which description best fits this image? Just it. Indeed, yes, de vaas staat op de tafel. It's kind of vertical, so it's standing on the table. It is not standing in the table and it's not lying on the table. Right.
And that was a very famous painter. Just a little side note, but
What's the plural of aardappel? It's also by. Yes, there are two possibilities here: aardappelen or aardappels. It's not aardappelen, aardappeleren, and it's not aardappelen. So some verbs, nouns have two options. Aardappels, aardappel can be aardappels or aardappelen. I think aardappelen is more commonly used. Formally, and aardappels is more informal, I would say. All right. Ooh.
it's gonna be
I think
close.
we know who will win. Pindakaas? You're all correct. Yes. Helaas, pindakaas. Very good. All right. That's it. The podium.
Ooh, the ranking.
Number 3.
Yay! Well done.
Good job. Number 2,
Yay.
Lisa. Number 1. B.
Oh wow, this is so official.
Yeah. Good job.
Very good.
Very good.
But you're all winners to us.
Awesome. So that was it for this lesson. Let's see if I can gracefully return. Yes. Now it's just us again. Thank you for coming here and for participating. Next week we will treat some very useful things, namely how to tell time in Dutch and how to construct the past simple in Dutch. So you can talk about things in the past and you can talk about time. Very useful. So please do your homework and look back on previous lessons if you want, because they will be uploaded kind of consistently now. And that's it.
Tot volgende week.
Tot volgende week.
Doei. And thanks for joining again.